Ribol. Okay, we can start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svaparandikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवारि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास हरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि बोल जय श्री प्रभुपाद So today we continue from from William James, American Pragmatism. So Hayagriv Das, in his most famous book, The Varieties of Religious Experience, James writes, were we to limit our view to it, we should have defined religion as an external art, the art of winning the favor of God. The relation goes direct from heart to heart, from soul to soul, between man and his maker. Srila Prabhupada. There are varieties of living beings living everywhere, from water up to the higher planetary systems. In fact, Padma Purana informs us that there are 8.4 million species: plants, creepers, trees, insects, aquatics, birds, animals, and so forth. God is concerned with all of them because they are all part and parcel of God. In one word, God is the father and maintainer of all living entities. He has two subordinate energies, material and spiritual. In the material world, material nature is the mother, God is the father, and the various living entities are all sons maintained by the Supreme Father. This is the basis of universal brotherhood. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvayonishu, Bhagavad Gita 14:4. The material nature is the mother and that Krishna is the seed-giving father. If we understand these relationships, we will attain peace and advance knowledge. Agriv Das. Concerning the founding of religions, James writes, the founders of every church owed their power originally to the fact of their direct personal communion with the divine. Not only the superhuman founders, the Christ, the Buddha, Muhammad, but all the originators of Christian sects have been in this case. So personal religion should seem the primordial thing, even to those who continue to esteem it complete. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, the Supreme Father is a person. We have no experience of a father being anything but a person. Just as in the material world, all fathers are persons, the ultimate father is also a person. The personal conception of God is there in every religion, Christian, Mohammedan, and Vedic. In the Vedic religion, it is stated, Om Tat Sat Vishnu Param Padam. Those who are spiritually advanced know that the Supreme Father is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu and Krishna are the same. Impersonal realization is imperfect and incomplete, whereas Bhagavan, the personal God, is the ultimate end of realization. Our first business is to know God and our relationship with Him. Then we can act accordingly to perfect our lives. This is the process of God realization. I agree with that. James considered religion to be the source of philosophy. He writes, since the relation of man since the relation of man to God may be either moral, physical, or ritual, it is evident that out of religion, in the sense in which we take it, theologies, philosophies, and ecclesiastical organizations may secondarily grow. Srila Prabhupada. Philosophy means advancing knowledge, and we are perfecting our knowledge when we begin our understanding of God. Due to foolishness, we sometimes deride God's existence. Sometimes we concoct some imaginary idea, and sometimes we have impersonal and pantheistic conceptions. Philosophy is the search for God, and due to our imperfection, we have different opinions and conceptions of Him. God is a person, and when we know God, talk with Him, see Him, feel His presence, and play with Him, we have attained the highest platform of God realization. We then come to realize that God is great and that we are small and always subordinate, carrying out God's orders in religion, and the more we realize this, the more we perfect our religion. Shwama Sundar Das. James noted that there are two fundamental philosophical temperaments. One is called tender-mindedness, and this is typified by the rationalist, the idealist, the optimist, the religionist, and the dogmatist. Tough-mindedness is typified by the empirist, the materialist, the pessimist, the atheist, the fatalist, and the skeptic. Srila Prabhupada. This depends upon our education, whether we become tender or tough-minded. In either case, we propose that originally the soul is good. Tenderness and toughness are developed later on. They are not the standard. When you come to the platform of the soul, everything is good. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand that every living entity is part and parcel of God, and God is good. Arjuna accepts Krishna as Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram. Bhagavad Gita 10:12. The word Pavitra means pure. Because we are part and parcel of God, we are pure. Impurities are acquired due to contamination in this material world. We may be either tender or tough-minded. This is due to our impurity acquired in this material world. We don't credit a person either way. Being tender or tough, a man suffering from headache thinks that it is better to be suffering from indigestion instead, and vice versa. Because the pure soul is affected by the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, he is suffering. He must be relieved from all sufferings. From the material point of view, one may be Brahmana, contaminated by Sattva Guna, or Shudra, contaminated by Tamo or Rajaguna. But from the spiritual platform, both are contaminated by material nature. Because of this, both are suffering. It is explained in Bhagavad Gita that the Brahmana thinks, oh, I am so pure and learned, I am so this and I am so that. This is called contamination by Sattva Guna. He is not thinking that he is part and parcel of Krishna. As long as we are affected by these material modes of nature, our position is the same. Shwama Sundar Das. James called himself a radical empirist. He did not see the universe as a neat set of relationships because direct experience informs us that facts are mosaic and discontinuous in their design. Thus, for him, the universe is composition of facts which do not form a perfect unity. Prabhupada. Because he is seeing the universe with imperfect eyes, it appears imperfect. Actually, everything is complete. According to the first verse of Ishopanishad, Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam eva vasishyate. The person of God is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of a complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Ishopanishad invocation. God is perfect, and whatever is created by God is perfect. James thinks that it is imperfect because he cannot see it through the eyes of God. Ribur. Okay, Prabhu, if any of you want to read, you can also read. You can send some message or from this part.
Is my voice clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Once again.
Shyama Das.
Yeah,
For
please.
James, the ultimate unification of the universe is never fully attained. He writes, the universe continually grows in quantity by new experiences that graft themselves upon the older mass. But these very new experiences often help the mass to a more consolidated form. Srila Prabhupada. This conception results from a poor fund of knowledge. The universe is complete, but man alone is not complete. Because the universe is created by a perfect being, it is also perfect. It is not that the universe is evolving. It has been perfect since its creation. Since our knowledge is imperfect, we think that it's evolving. Shyama Sundar Das. Is this because my observations of the universe are evolving towards the unity? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Shyama Sundar Das. Well, this is James' criterion for truth. That which I perceive is true. Truth, truth, truth is what one can experience. Srila Prabhupada. But what you can perceive may also be wrong because you are not perfect. You may think an imperfect thing perfect or a perfect thing imperfect. In the Shastras, it is stated that because human beings are controlled by a mode of passion, they love to work very hard, and thus they think that hard work is happiness. At the same time, the Shastras point out that hard work for sense gratification is also being carried on by hogs and dogs. Animals are also hardworking for some remuneration for food or sense enjoyment. This is called Maya, illusion. Shyamsundar Das. James felt that truth is more than just an agreement of idea with reality. It also has practical significance. What is practical is true. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, the truth must be practical. From the verses of Prabhupada and Saraswati, we can understand that one who receives but the slightest merciful glance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considers Brahma and liberation to be hellish. Kevalam narkayate. Such a person also considers the heavenly planets to be more phantasmagoria and the yoga siddhis, the yoga potencies to be unimportant. Materialistics suffer in this material condition, but a devotee is always satisfied. All so others are full of anxiety. A devotee sees everything as pleasing. All of this is possible by a fragment of the merciful glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is practical. As soon as we become Krishna conscious, all this takes place. Shyam Sundar Das. For James, truth means experience. Srila Prabhupada. That is also a proposal. Bhakti parishenu bhavo viraktir anyatarchascha. One who is advanced in bhakti is longer interested in material enjoyment. Unless we come to detest material things, it is to be understood that we are not making progress. When a hungry man eats, he feels satisfied and his body gains strength. Similarly, when we advance in Krishna consciousness, we feel spiritually strong and lose our taste for material enjoyment. Sundar Das. James felt that truth can be created or developed in the same way as wealth or health. Srila Prabhupada. Health may be created, but truth cannot. It is not that truth is developing, rather, you are gradually progressing towards truth. It is not that the sun is developing, but as the cloud disappears, your ability to see the sun develops. The sun is fixed in its position. Well, Sham Sundar Das. Well, for James, truth is a system of verification. That is, that is, ideas becomes true or are made true through our experience of them. Share Prabhupada. No, as you make progress, truth is revealed. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that as we surrender unto him, he reveals himself proportionally. Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 11th shloka. Sham Sundar Das. But if an idea works and is applied to concrete fact of experiences, we can accept it as a true idea. As our experiences develop, our life progresses. If an idea works in my experience, it becomes true for me. Sure, Prabhat. Yes, that is our process. In the beginning, it is true fate that we enter into Krishna consciousness movement. In the beginning, we have no practical experience of Krishna consciousness. We may see that people who are Krishna conscious appear to have very bright faces, and our interest may increase on seeing these. Thus, we first come with a little faith and interest, and as we associate with the devotees, our interest increases. Shamsundar. So our experience proves that the ideas are true. Sure, Papa. Yes. Otherwise, how can European and American boys be satisfied with so few material possessions? They are realizing in practice that a simple life is better than an artificial one. Chance of the gas. But what is practical for one person may not be for another. What is the criterion? Sure, Papa. There are relative truths and there is absolute truth. Some people are interested in one and some in the other. We may accept some temporary means to attain a goal. However, the ultimate goal is to please Krishna. And for this end, we may adopt some temporary relative means. Sham Sundar Das. According to James, one who believes has a greater chance to discover the truth than the man who doubts. That is Srila Prabhupada. That is so. Agyas Shadra Dhanascha Samas Atmaya Vinashyati Nayam Lokasti Naparo Na Sukham Samsayatmana. But ignorant and faithless person who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Though those who are doubters are finished. Is James a believer or a doubter? James Shamsundar Das. He was a believer, a New England Protestant. He says that one who disbelieves, faces the risk of losing any chance of discovering the truth. Srila Prabhupada. That is so. This means that we accept the fact that God is truth and that He is existing. He believes that we have a better chance to get at the truth by believing in God, and God is truth. Therefore, God is existing. If you believe that you can become warm by getting next to fire, you are asserting the existence of fire. Unless there is a fire, how can there be warmth? So the belief itself is true. Sham Sundar Das. For James, the mind must survive the body. Since the mind is not dependent on the body for its existence. Srila Prabhupada. That is fact. When the gross body is finished, the subtle body consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego remains. These guide us to another gross body. They are like the aroma coming from a rose. We can see the rose, but we cannot see the aroma. Still, the aroma is being scattered by the air. Similarly, when the spirit soul gives up the gross body, it is carried by mind, intelligence, and ego. According to a desire, that subtle body enters another gross body. Sham Sundar Das. If the mind and intelligence are not matured, do they not die? Sure, Prabhupada. To die means to disappear. The mind disappears when you are liberated. Sham Sundar Das. Then I carry my mind with me throughout all my lifetimes. Sure, Prabhupada. Yes, as long as you are not liberated. Sham Sundar Das. Is this the same mind I have now and have always had? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, but the body, which is material and gross, changes. The subtle material body, mind, intelligence, and false ego accompanies us until we are liberated. I agree with us. Concerning non-devotional religions, James gave the following estimation of impersonalism and Buddhism. They are systems of thought which the world usually call religious and yet do not positively assume a god. Buddhism is in this case, popularly. Of course, the Buddha himself stands in the place of a god, but in strictness, the Buddhistic system is atheistic. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, and that is also the description given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Buddha appeared at a time when the people were atheist and accustomed to killing many animals in a sacrificial offerings. Lord Buddha was very much aggrieved to see poor animals being killed unnecessarily. Therefore, he preached a religion of non-violence. Because the people were atheists, Lord Buddha, in order to bring them under his control, agreed with them and said, "Yes, there is no God. But listen to me. This is kind of transcendental cheating." In the beginning, he said, "There is no God, but he is God himself." In this way, people accepted his words and instructions. Animal killer cannot understand God and religion. Also, they may have some vague idea. Lord Buddha wanted to stop their sinful activities and establish a system of religion dedicated to non-violence. Therefore, he rejected the Vedas, which allow restricted animal violence, sacrifice. I agree with us. For James, religion means surrender and total involvement. He writes, in the religious life, surrender and sacrifice are positively exposed. Even unnecessary giving up are added in the order that happiness may increase. Religion thus makes easy and felicitous what in any case is necessary. It becomes an essential organ of our life, perf- performing a function which no other portion of our life can so successfully fulfill. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, society without religion is animal animalistic. We have already defined religion as understanding, loving, and obeying God. These principles are personally taught by God Himself in Bhagavad Gita. Manamana bhav madbhakto madhyagi mama namaskaru mam evashyasi satyam te prati jane priyo simi. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fear. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. We may think of God either as a personal God. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry for disturbance.
No problem, Prabhu. Hare Krishna,
Uh,
Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Today we started a little bit earlier because I need to go somewhere in the evening.
Okay, Prabhu, no problem.
Lebohang Prabhu, do you want to continue? Or John Prabhu? Either one can continue.
Oh, Prabhu, let me just reach home. I'll continue, Prabhu. Just
Yes,
working now.
yes, I was trying to see, like, I was trying to remember who you were from Reddit. I was going through the recent.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Oh, nothing. I was talking to this John Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Oh, you don't know him?
He joined from Reddit. He has joined some chanting sessions already, and I think this is his second or third time.
Okay, because it's not my first time seeing him as well.
Yes, Prabhu. He's from Reddit. Someone who joined from Reddit. So that's nice to see.
Okay, Prabhu.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. No problem. Thank you so much for your association. Thanks for joining. It was really nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, then I know I think, who you are. Have you already read the Bhagavad Gita? I think you today wrote that you have read the whole. Have you read the whole Bhagavad Gita? Ah, okay. If you have any doubts or any questions or something that is confusing, so you can always send questions. For my first time, I didn't understand much. I was just trying to realize what is going on. I was understanding that some battle was starting and they were having conversation, but whole book I was waiting that when the battle will start. I was waiting for this and I didn't understand much the first time.
Yeah, I remember you stated it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is he chanting?
Thank you so much. Are you from Europe or UK or US? Oh, from Europe. That's nice. And also first one from Spain to join the group. We have many from
Oh, yeah.
France, but we don't have any from Spain or Italy. I'm from Finland. Yes, it was really nice to have your association. Thanks for joining this reading session and also try to join in future. And join those japa sessions in the morning. They are really helpful to get on track with the chanting.
He's a fast typer.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, Lebohang Prabhu, you can continue from this part. But let's see how many pages.
Oh, just give me a moment, Prabhu. Let me just reach
Yeah,
there and then.
yes, I already forgot. Okay, I can continue from this part. But
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhu, are you free? Can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Just give me a minute. I'll go to a silent place.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, bro. There is a problem with the network. I'm hearing echo.
What, Prabhu?
Sorry, bro. Yes, I can read further.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
this is Dialectic, Spiritualism, Vedic and Western philosophy. Okay. This book. We may think of God either as a personal God or a localized or all-pervading God. But in any case, God has form. It is easier to think of the form of the Lord. Attempting to meditate on the impersonal aspect is very troublesome. Bhagavad Gita 12.5. Although Krishna has different incarnations and forms, he is a supreme. Therefore, we meditate upon him. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we can think of Krishna easily because his form, the deity, is in the temple. We also have the perfect instructions of Bhagavad Gita. God gives perfect instructions in everything: religion, politics, sociology, philosophy, science, physics, and history. Those who are fortunate will see the actual form of God according to his instructions and perfect deadlines. This is what he wanted. Everyone does that. James sees happiness as an integral part of religion. Srila Prabhupada. When you know and follow God, you become happy. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na pansati. Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mat Bhaktim Labate Param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. He never laments or nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.54. As soon as we are God realized, we transcend duality and all distress and become immediately happy. There is no longer hankering and lamentation. We no longer distinguish between men and nations. We see everyone within the material world, whether man, animal, or a tree, as a living entity, a part and parcel of God. In this way, we have a clear understanding and a perfect life. Agriva Dasa. In the varieties of religious experience, James further writes, if a creed makes a man feel happy, he almost inevitably adopts it. Such a belief ought to be true. Therefore, it is true. Such rightly or wrongly is one of the immediate inferences of the religious logic used by ordinary men. Yes, if you have a clear conception of God and we have decided to obey Him and love Him, you will be happy. This is the process utilized by this Krishna consciousness movement. We have no other business than obeying the orders of God. God has told us to preach this confidential philosophy of Bhagavad Gita everywhere. Since we are trying to love God and obey His orders, we are eager to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. Otherwise, it is Krishna's business. Why should we bother about Him? We are attempting to spread this movement because we love Krishna and He is happy that His message is spread toward the world. That is our happiness also. Since we are serving God without a doubt, we also feel happiness. This is reciprocation with God. This is religion. Religion is not sentiment, but actual realization of God, the actual carrying out of His orders. Our progressive life is secure if we are happy when God is happy. Agriva. James sees the lover of God as being a morally free person. He writes, Saint Augustine's maxim, if you but love God, you may do as you incline, is morally one of the profoundest of observations, yet it is pregnant for such persons with passports beyond the bounds of conventional morality. Yes, that is very nicely put. If God is satisfied with our action is moral. Conventional morality, which says this is good and this is bad, is a mental concoction. Morality refers to the activities which satisfy God. If our action dissatisfies God, it is immoral. We therefore sing every day. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Sri Guru Ashtaka 8. The orders of God are carried out by the representative of God, the spiritual master. When we have no direct connection with God, the spiritual master serves as a transparent intermediary between God and ourselves. In the perfectional stage, of course, we can talk with God directly, but in the beginning, the neophyte must receive instructions from the spiritual master who is directly connected with God. If we satisfy the spiritual master, we have satisfied God, and this is our happiness. I agree with Asa. Concerning evil, James writes, evil is a disease, and worry over disease is itself an additional form of disease, which only adds to the original complaint. The best repentance is to up and act for righteousness and forget that you have ever had any relations with sin. In Srila Prabhupada, when you are in a disease condition, your suffering increases. When no one attempts to extinguish a fire, it increases. Debts unpaid will compound interest. Therefore, diseases, fire, and debts should not be left unattended. They should be completely extinguished. We must know that our suffering is due to our disobedience to the orders of God, to our being irreligious. We have a relationship with God, but because we are now covered by material contamination, we are ignorant of it. We are thinking of ourselves as independent, and that is our foolishness. The demoniac and atheistic incorrectly think. Next week. themselves incorrectly think themselves independent of the orders of God. Therefore, they are forced to accept what they do not want. The punishments of birth, old age, disease, and death. Despite this punishment, the atheists still deny God's existence. God is there and his orders are there. We should accept the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, the representative of God, and execute them. Then we become happy and overcome the results of evil. Shyamachandra Dasa. Like Mill and others, James felt that due to the existence of evil in the universe, God is not unlimited. Srila Prabhupada, he did not know that evil does not exist independent of God. According to the Shastras, evil is the backside of God. Backside of front side, God is God. God is absolute. It is not that I can neglect or deny my back. I cannot say, beat me on my backside. The back is as important as the front. Those who are sinful cannot stand the front of God. Therefore, Krishna says, Yesham tu anta katam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam vridavrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, those sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are free from the duality of delusions engage themselves in my service with determination. Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Unless we are completely uncontaminated, we cannot come to Krishna consciousness. Once we surrender unto Krishna and accept his orders, Krishna immediately relieves us from all sinful reactions. Ramasundra Das. James defines the world as a stuff of pure experience and says that experience is sometimes manifest as mind and sometimes as matter. Srila Prabhupada, it is made up of experience, but whose experience? It is not due to your experience that these flowers are here. You have not created these flowers. He speaks of pure experience, but he does not know that it is Krishna's experience. Tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natat samas cha abhyadikascha drishyate parasya saktir vividaiva shruyate swabhaviki jnana bala kriya cha. It does not possess bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of the senses can perform the actions of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Shvetashvatara 6.78. According to the Vedas, the Supreme is equipped with different kinds of energies, and those energies can be experienced. This universe and everything within the cosmic manifestation is designed by the Supreme. Everything is a result of his multi-energies. In order for a man to create a flower on a canvas, he must be thoroughly experienced in his art. But we can see that the multi-energies of Krishna are working so nicely that flowers appear automatically. Agriva. James divides religion into two basic types. One he calls the blue sky optimistic gospel, and the other pessimistic in its recognition of the futility and miseries of materialistic life. He felt that the completest religions take a pessimistic view of material existence and offer liberation from it. Yes, only an animal is not pessimistic about life in this material world. A man is capable of knowing the threefold sufferings of material life. There are sufferings of the body, there are sufferings of the mind and body, sufferings offered by other living entities, sufferings forced upon us by natural catastrophes and laws of nature. The world is full of suffering, but under the spell of Maya, illusion, we think that we are progressing. Ultimately, whatever we do, death is there to annihilate the disease. Under these circumstances, there is no happiness within this material world. We may make all arrangements for happiness, but at any moment, death may capture us. So what happiness can we have here? Therefore, an intelligent man is always pessimistic about material life. He knows that he will not allow to be happy here. As we further advance, we understand the orders of Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam praja. Abandon all religions and just surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. We must surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after surrendering and understanding Him fully, we can go to the world that is full of bliss, knowledge, and eternal life. Unless we take a pessimistic view of this material world, we will remain attached to it, and the repetition of birth and death will ensue. In this world, everyone is attempting to live permanently, but nature does not allow this. People work very hard and sometimes get good results, bad results, or frustration. So, where is happiness? Happiness is understanding God, acting according to His advice, and returning home back to Godhead. I agree with that. James believes that there is a certain composite picture of universal saintliness, which is the same in all religions, and of which the features can be easily traced. He has noted that holy men possess one, a feeling of being in a wider life than that of this world's selfish little interests, and a conviction of the existence of an ideal power. Chila Prabhupada, yes, that feeling is there because the greatness of God is experienced. God is great in six opulences: wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. Agrivadasa. Secondly, a holy man possesses a sense of the friendly continuity of the ideal power with our own life, in a willing self-surrender to its control. Yes, Shila Prabhupada, yes, there is a friendly continuity. There are five basic relationships. In the first, the relationship is between master and servant, then friend to friend, son to father, father to son, and beloved to beloved. All of these are friendly relationships, and every living entity has a natural instinct to accept any one of them. Thus, our friendly relationships with God can be chosen. Sometimes someone may like to relate to Him as a servant, a friend, a father, a son, or a conjugal lover. When we are free from material contamination, our particular relationship is revived, and we understand ourselves as eternal parts and parcels of God. I agree with that. Thirdly, the holy man experiences an immense elation and freedom as the outlines of the confining selfhood melt down. Srila Prabhupada, yes, material selfishness is Maya. Those who are enchanted by the spell of Maya do not know that the real self-interest is in knowing the relationship with God. Our first duty is to have a complete idea of God and our relationship with Him. According to the Vedic process, whether we take up the Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga system, the purpose is realization of God. A perfect human being knows that God is supplying his necessities and that he need not try to improve his economic condition. A sadhu or holy man is not interested in improving his material condition, but his spiritual condition. I agree with that, sir. Lastly, James speaks of the holy man experiencing a shifting of the emotional center towards loving and harmonious affections, towards yes and away from no, where the claims of the non-ego are concerned. Srila Prabhupada, yes. God is always asking us to obey His orders, and as soon as we do so, as soon as we agree with Him, we become liberated. Srimad Bhagavatam describes liberation as giving up everything except devotional life. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana vidyati swaraga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha dashkinaha. Devotees totally engaged in devotional service for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same because such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. Bhagavatam 6.1.6.7. Life is meant for rendering devotional service to the Lord. And as soon as we understand this and commit ourselves to the rendering of such service, we are liberated. This is called Mukti. I agree with Dasha. James believes that the existence of many religions in this world is not regrettable because different types of men necessitate different types of religion. Some may really be better for religion of consolation and reassurance, he writes, whilst others are better for one of terror and reproof. I have said that the religion means accepting God as the Supreme Father, material nature as the mother, and all living entities as the sons of God. The Father is the maintainer, and all his sons have the right to live at his expense. Every living being should be satisfied with this condition which is given by God. No one should encroach upon the rights of others, including the rights of animals to live peacefully. According to Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, a happy life means living in the family of Krishna without violating the rules and regulations. In a family, the sons can live happily, very happily by obeying their father. So there may be many types of religion, but awareness of this basic relationship with God as His creation should be there. I agree with that, sir. Since James was acquainted only with the impersonalist Vedanta school of Hinduism, he wrote of Samadhi instead of devotional service. When a man comes of Samadhi, he writes, he remains enlightened, a sage, a prophet, a saint. His whole character changed, his life changed, illuminated. Srila Prabhupada, Samadhi means ecstasy, and if we are in God consciousness, we are in Samadhi. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks of the yogi in Samadhi. Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatmo patah. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. In Samadhi, the mind is always absorbed in God. If we continue in Krishna consciousness, we are in Samadhi. Dasa. James describes Samadhi to be a union in which the individual has lost contact with the external world. Srila Prabhupada, yes. Dasa, and therefore he concludes that mystical states cannot be sustained for long, except in rare instances, half an hour or at most an hour or two seems to be the limit beyond which they fade into the light of common day. Often, when faded, their quality can but imperfectly be reproduced in memory. But when they recur, it is recognized. And from one recurrence to another, it is susceptible of continuous development in which it is felt as inner richness and importance. In what is felt as inner richness and importance? Srila Prabhupada, yes, that richness is perfected when we think of Krishna constantly. That is recommended in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which I quoted previously. Consequently, in our Krishna consciousness moment, we are devoted to thinking of Krishna 24 hours daily. When we do not fall down from the yoga principle, we experience samadhi. I agree with that. James himself claims to have experienced such a state momentarily under the influence of ether. And today, people claim to induce mystical states through psychedelic drugs. These are artificial means and they cannot be sustained. It is better to engage in the bona fide devotional process. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam. Bhagavatam 5.23. Always hearing about Krishna, talking about him, remembering him, serving him in the temple, distributing his literatures, and so on. There are many services we can render in order to be fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. I agree with Asa. After analyzing many different religious experiences, James arrives at 5 basic conclusions. 1. That the visible world is part of a more spiritual universe from which it draws its deep significance. Srila Prabhupada, yes. The material universe is existing on the spiritual effulgence of the Lord, just as the planets are resting upon the sunshine. Everything rests on the spiritual effulgence of the Lord, but when we forget the Lord, we call this the material world. Actually, the material world is in the spiritual world, but forgetfulness of God is material. When we revive our dormant God consciousness, the material world no longer exists. For a person truly advanced in God consciousness, there is nothing material, everything is spiritual. I agree with Asa. You are anticipating James' second conclusion, which is union or harmonious relation with that higher universe is our true end. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, that is so. When we no longer forget our eternal relationship with God, nothing is material. I agree with Asa. Third, prayer or communion with God is a process wherein work is really done and spiritual energy flows in and produces effects, psychological or material, within the phenomenal world. And fourth, religion produces a new zest which adds itself like a gift to life. Srila Prabhupada, yes. Realizing God's creation with awe, veneration, and appreciation constitutes one type of relationship with all Santa Rasa. From there, we can progress to the point of Dasya Rasa, which involves serving God. And finally, to the Madhurya Rasa, which includes accepting God as our most beloved object. The devotee may choose whichever relationship he likes. The result is the same. However, by comparative study, the sadhus have decided that the Madhurya Rasa Our relationship with God as lover and beloved is the highest relationship. I agree with Dasa. Finally, religion produces an assurance of safety and a temper of peace, and relation to others a preponderance of loving affections. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is very nice. A devotee is always at peace because he is always confident that he is sincerely serving Krishna. Krishna will save him from all danger. Prahlad Maharaj was always peaceful, although his demoniac father, Hiranyakashipu, attempted to kill him in so many ways. God always protects his devotee, and therefore, the pure devotee is not disturbed by any material condition. He has firm faith in God, and this is called surrender. Full surrender means accepting everything favorable to God consciousness and rejecting everything unfavorable. When we enter the family of God, we can have firm faith. We have firm faith and security under the protection of God. Agriva James then concludes that in opening ourselves to God's influence, our deepest destiny is fulfilled. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that fulfillment is what we wanted. God demands that we fully surrender unto Him, and when we do so, our lives are perfected.
Haribo. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Wow. So good, Prabhu. So good. Nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, now we read just to compare quickly.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Only one Prabhu left. He needs to answer Rishikesh Prabhu.
Rishikesh Prabhu. He's coming, Prabhu. Rishikesh Prabhu today.
What, Prabhu?
Is Rishikesh Prabhu also joining? No?
No, Prabhu. I think he's calling Lebohang Prabhu because he wrote in the chat.
Okay.
He needs to answer to him.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Haribo. Cheto darpanam bhavamahadavagnirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Nam akari bahuda nija sarva shaktish tatrapita niyamita svaranena kala etardashita kripa bhagavan mamati Daivam drishtam ihajani nanuraga.
Nadapi sunishena tarorapi sahisnuna manina manadena kirtaniya sada hari.
Nadanam na janam na sinjarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama jannani janmani ishware avatar bhaktir ahetuki tvayi.
Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddho kripa tava pada pankaja stita duli sadarsam vichintaya.
Nayanam kaladashu dharaya vadanam katridharudaya kira kulakir nichitam vapukada tavanam grahane bhavishyati.
Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravirsha itam chunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me.
Ashtisya va padaratam pinastumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yata tata va vidada pulam tato matprana na paspusa eva na paraha.
Haribo, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. These are not even hard and fast rules for chanting. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, or nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your prosperous devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling our separations, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
Haribo, Sri Siksastakam ki
Very
jai.
bold.
Okay, 10 offenses. The first offense to what it was to blaspheme the devotees who had dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name.
To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
To disobey the orders of the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
To start on to the blaspheme, the Vedic scriptures or the persons the Vedic portion.
To consider the glories of the chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord.
To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities that offer the various Vedas exclusive activities, Karma Kanda.
To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain mental attachments even after understanding so many instructions in this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting.
Haribo.
Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against his offenses in order to be of desired success Krishna Priyam. Let us offer our humble obeisances to all the better devotees of the Lord.
कृपा सिन्धुभ्याय वच पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पंचतत्व की जय, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।